Hello, welcome. In this video, I'm going to take a look at a line of 1971 die-cast robot toys from Kenner. They're called Microbots. They only made 8 different characters. I have 6 of them, but one of them's broken, and then another one, which I happen to have 2 of, is missing a piece, both of them missing the same piece. But I'll describe what each one does as well as the 2 I do not own. So the first one up here is called Griptor, and they all kind of have silly names. They describe basically what the function is of the robot. So Griptor grips items. You can see here he's holding a label. You can't hold anything too heavy. It's not a strong grip. So you just pinch the back of the arms here and it opens the hands. Really just looks like he's clapping. And most of the robots rotate, and they all have 4 wheels and roll just like a die-cast car. It's mostly metal, the wheels are plastic, and the face piece here is plastic. Alright, this is the one I have 2 of. It's missing a piece. This one's called Cranktor, and what's missing is a centerpiece, although I could probably just add a piece that's similar to what was there. Basically held a string with a hook, so that you'd pull the string out, hook it to something, and then, like his name Cranktor, he'd crank the arms and reel it in. You'll notice these guys have the same head as Griptor, but there are 2 different head types and a few different colors for the faces. So here's one of them. This is Hooktor. He has a hook, and same head type but a blue face. And this front piece, well, the piece of the hook can be extended so that he has a longer reach. I'm going to bring in a Gumby keychain here for demo purposes. So you hook to an object and then just push on the back here to lift. Alright, next up is the broken one. This one's called Fliptor. Now, there's not a lot of information on these guys online, and that's one of the main reasons I made a video. I was just going to go to the blog post with some photos, but I couldn't find a single video of these guys, and not a lot of information. Very few photos of them. There are just a few from past online sales. And what I did find was from a blog called Plaid Stallions that's all about the 1970s. They do a lot of catalog scans, and they had 2 scans of Microbots. And that's how I got the names of all these characters, and how I know what was missing from Cranktor and what came off of Fliptor here. So I just wanted to give them some credit, because without them, I'd have no idea what the names of these guys are. They aren't marked. The only markings on them is on the bottom. They say Microbot 1971 Hong Kong, and that's it. Like I said, there's just so little information out there that without those scans, I really wouldn't have known too much about them. So with Fliptor, what's missing is he has this piece on the bottom here. It would have been like a little crate, and then his arms broke off. This is just what's left of them. Still, the spring still works, so what you do is just bend the arms back, pick up the object, I guess, that was sitting on the back, and then they didn't let go too well there, but they just flip up on their own. They'd flip the item that they're holding over his head. You can see he's got the same head type, only green. And then the last 2 have the different head type. And one other thing I want to mention, the only other information I found on these guys was that, and really there's more stories on this than on the toys themselves, is there's a comic book. Yeah, a single issue comic book about this short-lived line of toys. It was from Gold Key, and most people just have cover scans, but one person had some images of the inside, and I saw that they also can shoot lasers out of their face, or at least the round-headed guys can. So they did a bit more than just their basic functions, at least in the comic book, because it has a story, of course. It's a comic book. It's kind of silly. What I can gather is that it takes place in the future, post-apocalyptic world, not very many people left. And I guess it's on Earth, but there's also large creatures that they have to fight. So a guy called Dr. Micron made the Microbots to help out humans. And this one here is called Liftor because he can lift. Basically, put something in his hands, or I guess you don't even have to. You just press the back and he goes up. Certainly tallest of the robots, or the Microbots. And you can see on the back here, it's got a plastic piece for a spine. Alright, so the last one I have is called Bullzor. He bulldozes things. He can also carry objects. There's a little groove on his side so that you can lift this piece up and lock it into place so that it won't, fall over. Grab the keychain again, and you can carry the object around. So the two I don't have are called Crushor and Clawbor. Let's try to describe off a flip door here. Crushor had 4 arms, 2 on each side, that extended forward and held some kind of plastic sledgehammer looking device, and then the arms would just go up and down to pound the ground in front of him. And Clawbor has arms like Liftor, and he holds objects just like Griptor does, only he's got these other type of arms, and he has a third arm that comes out of his chest in between the other 2 arms. The same type of arm as this, just flipped over so that it would then just lock the object into place. And you may have noticed these guys all have hooks on them, so you can chain them together, as many as you want, and then just drive them around like a train. And that's about all. I mean, as I mentioned, Plaid Stallions had some images. They also showed that there was a play set for these guys to roll around on. It had some ramps and platforms. Now I'll link to that in my blog entry, which I will link to in this video description. So if you want to see more photos and then go to Plaid Stallions and see the scans they have, I'll have a link to my blog in this video description, and then go to my blog and I'll have a link to the other blog. I'll also have some close-up photos of all these guys. And that's about it. So thanks for watching.